Hi all, today we are going to discuss a 2004 sex comedy film, Eurotrip. So sit and relax. Movie starts with a view of a high school graduation ceremony. Our main lead of the movie, Scotty, along with his friend Cooper, reach out to his girlfriend, Fiona, and ask about her future plans. But instead of answering his questions, Fiona dumped him because he is too predictable by nature. Broken heart, Scotty cries his heart out while his family is making a video of him. Later that day, Cooper and Scotty's younger brother, Bert, watching the clip on rewind. Scotty asks Bert to leave and get up to reverts his online German pen pal friend Mika, who Scotty call Mike. Cooper, who is sitting beside him, asks Scotty to stop interacting with his online friend, because he can be a sex predator who is looking for younger boys to get into their pants. At night, the duo went into the party organized by their college friend. Their friends Jenny, a cute girl that Scotty and Cooper treats like a boy, and her twin brother Jamie, who is a geek, came to meet them. They twins told them about their plan of touring across Europe, and their first destination will be Paris. After a while, the music band starts performing a song, with a nice catchy music, detailing the affair Scotty's girlfriend Fiona has with the band's lead singer. Scotty returned home drunk and angry and reads an email from his German friend Mika, expressing sympathy for Scotty and suggesting they meet in person. After reading that mail, Scotty remembers what Cooper says of Mika being a sexual predator, and he tells him to stay away from him. Next morning, Scotty's younger brother, Bert, informs him that Mika is actually a common German feminine name. Realizing that he had mistaken her name and that he has feelings for Mika, Scotty tries to contact her again, but finds that Mika has already blocked his email address. When Cooper visits him, Scotty told him about whole of the situation, and he decides to visit Mika in Berlin to ask for forgiveness in person. Cooper also wants to tag along with him in this trip. Cooper suggests getting flight tickets from courier services so that they can get to Berlin cheaply. But due to no flight to Berlin for the next 7 days, they take the tickets to London and decide to go from there to Berlin. While on the plane, Cooper reveals the real reason for his trip to Europe so that he can fulfill his Europe sex fantasy. After arriving London, Cooper receives a call from his office. He lied to his boss of being in office so that his boss does not deduct his salary. Having no age limit on drinking, they decided to go into a bar. But as soon as they enter the bar, they realize that the bar is private bar meant for the crazy fans of Manchester United Football Club. The head of the group scares the shit out of them and asks them to sing Manchester United song to prove their loyalty to the club. Scotty manages to trick and befriends them. The group accepts them and starts partying like an animal. In the next scene, Mika can be seen making out with a handsome guy. Scotty wakes up in a jiffy and realizes that it was just a dream. Soon he realizes that he was on a double-decker bus of that group and parted ways with his journey and going somewhere else. To confirm their next destination, they asked the members of the group and got to know that they are moving towards Paris. Scotty along with Cooper plan to contact their twin friends who are already in Paris. After meeting their friends, they all went to restaurant, and Scotty convinced his twin friends Jenny and Jamie to come with them to Berlin and can visit more monuments on their way. Jamie hesitated at first but agrees to accompany them later. Scotty buys the train ticket and Jamie took those tickets from him and put it into his safe bag. On the other hand, Jenny met a handsome French guy, but due to not having enough time to talk, she left to onboard the train. An unknown man came into their compartment and sits between Jamie and Cooper. After went through a tunnel, Jamie feels the man's hand on his lap, which makes him really uncomfortable. Feeling the weirdness around him, Cooper and Jamie tried to sit with Scotty and Jenny. But only Cooper manages to sit with them and Jamie has to sit with that creepy man. After going through the second tunnel, the creepy man can be seen massaging Jamie's shoulders, for which Jamie asks him to stop. Suddenly Scotty looks at Jamie and hints him about the big upcoming tunnel. The group starts to scream, and when the tunnel crosses, the creepy man can be seen half naked sitting opposite side of the group. Feeling disgusted by his act, the group throws the man outside from their compartment. They stop at Kranz-sur-Mer to change their train, which is going to come after 2 hours. Having couple of hours to spare, Jamie suggests to visit their famous new beach. But due to no girl available at the beach, the trio of Scotty, Jamie and Cooper got disappointed and had to run back to the station after Jenny's arrival at the beach. The group travels to Amsterdam, where they decide to visit some monuments. Jamie went to shop to clean his camera. The shop owner shows interest in Jamie and asks him to meet her in the alley, where Jamie got robbed while receiving oral sex, losing everyone's money, passports, and train tickets. They attempt to hitchhike to Berlin, but due to language misunderstanding, they end up in Bratislava. A person living there, who seemed friendly in nature, comes to those people and greets them. Finding a great exchange rate with the US dollar, they manage to afford a lavish hotel and the luxurious services. The group goes to the nightclub, and for the first time Cooper got attracted towards Jenny after seeing in a beautiful dress. The handsome guy who met Jenny at the Paris station turns out to be the owner of the club and asks Jenny to join him for a drink, for which Jenny agrees. The boys' trio decided to get drunk with absinthe, an alcohol famous for giving people hallucinations. Drunk on absinthe, Jenny and Jamie make out with each other, witnessed by Scotty and Cooper, and are horrified when they realize what they are doing. The next day, a Slovak man drives them to Berlin, where they learn from Mika's dad that Mika has left with a summer tour group, and will be reachable in Rome for only a short time. After hearing this, Scotty got upset. Jamie sells his Leica camera and gave money to Scotty for plane tickets to Rome to find Mika. In Rome, the group heads to Vatican City, where Mika is touring before her summer at sea. Inside the Vatican, Scotty and Cooper search for Mika and accidentally ring the bell that signals the Pope has died. Cooper start to kid around with Pope's hat and accidentally burned, resulting the room filled with smoke. Falling in curtains, Scotty comes to balcony and spots Mika and the cheering crowd below, who have mistaken him for the newly elected Pope. All this happens while the current Pope is watching everyone. The Swiss guards realizes what is going on and detain Scotty and Cooper for their actions. However, the Manchester United football hooligans from London suddenly appear at the Vatican and tells the guards to release Scotty and Cooper. Scotty finally introduces himself to Mika and confesses his love. Mika is happy to see him, and they have sex in a confessional booth before she leaves on her trip. On the flight back to Ohio, Jenny and Cooper give in to their urges and have sex in the plane's lavatory, while Jamie stays in Europe after being hired by Arthur Frommer. Scotty moves to Oberlin College in the fall term to begin his studies. During his phone conversation with Cooper, who is dating Jenny, Cooper asks what Scotty's new roommate looks like. Mika knocks on the door of his room, having been assigned to the same room because of another misunderstanding about her name. Scotty and Mika embrace and get into bed together, with Cooper calling for Scott on the other end of a still open cell phone call, and the film's closing with the absinthe green fairy wondering at his own lack of a sex life.